Welcome to the Bobby Moore stand. My name's Gary. This is the West Ham news. So since we spoke on Monday, there's been a raft of different news stories going out there, all giving different messages out, as you'd expect, around the situation of Julen Lopetegui. I want to summarise that and mention another couple of things as well. But before we go there, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please could you subscribe to it, the Bobby Moore stand, on YouTube, and some of you get that. And hit the bell notification icon and give the video a like, please. It all helps. So firstly, I spoke about a meeting on Wednesday. That was a rumoured meeting that was going to happen between Steidten and Sullivan. Now, I don't know whether that meeting's going ahead or not. It was a rumour, but the latest rumour is they're going to have the meeting, but they're not going to discuss the manager, believe it or not. Now, what it kind of correlates it. There's a message from David Ornstein, who's usually right about West Ham, the West Ham situation, and this is a quote. It says, "West Ham, of course, pressure on Julian Lopetegui, but a source very well placed has said to me today, this is David Ornstein, they're disappointed by the results. Are they disappointed? But they like to honour contracts, because of course they do. They hope and expect things to change. Yeah, didn't we all? There will be scrutiny on him, really, because the fans are turning. No, we've turned already. There will be scrutiny on Tim Steidten. You see the way Tim Steidten keeps getting brought into this? He's the sacrificial lamb in all this, I'm telling you. The sporting director who brought Lopetegui in. He's being blamed for bringing Lopetegui in. Bloody hell. Sullivan's excelling himself here, isn't he? And in so many ways, and so many of the players in the summer window, he lives on for now, but it's delicate there. And I don't know when he said he lives on for now, but it's delicate there. I don't know whether that's alluding to Steidten or Lopetegui, but either way, it's an interesting statement. You could read it several ways, couldn't you? And that ties into a tweet from his favourite news outlet, Sean Whetstone, who's basically said that, again, following on from that, they're digging out Steidten and saying that he was responsible for 3 of the signings in the summer. So that would be Guilherme, that would be Todibo, and it would also be obviously the German striker, Füllkrug, or striker. It's a bit unfair to call him that, isn't it? Now Füllkrug's clearly a bit of a balls up. Having said that, I'm sure he wouldn't have expected him to be long-term injured as soon as he arrived. I guess that could have happened to any striker that we bought, but nonetheless, terrible signing. Guilherme, I think he came on for 10 minutes the other day, and again, he looked pretty good, didn't he? Pretty exciting young player. So I don't know. Maybe it's not such a balls up with Guilherme, but he's definitely not getting game time anytime soon. That's for sure. Not in a Julen Lopetegui team, because he's not one of his players. So this is, again, you can understand why he's reluctant to play. He didn't play Füllkrug even when he was fit. He put him on the bench. He didn't play Todibo for bloody ages. Remember, he was hugging the corner flag in one of the games that I went to. It took him ages to get into the team. When he got into the team, pretty soon he was out again, and then he was back, and he was out, and then they bring Mavropanos in. It's like it just feels like exactly the same situation, a standoff between Steidten and Lopetegui, just the same as it was with Moyes last year. And the common denominator is obviously Steidten, but there's another common denominator as well, and that's Sullivan, orchestrating this from behind the scenes. He clearly, he's first, he would take complete, had Lopetegui been successful, Sullivan would be taking all the credit for it. Because he's not, he's blaming Lopetegui for it. Sorry, Steidten for it. Now, Steidten was a fool unto himself, because to save face, he said that he agreed with the signing of Lopetegui. But nobody believes that. Nobody in their right mind believes that, to be honest. He's actually giving the person who wrote that article, whoever it was, giving full credit to Sullivan for signing Somerville, Wan-Bissaka, and this is a strange one, Wes Foderingham, and giving the rest to Lopetegui. So that will be Kilman, Sulli, whoever else was signed. Anyway, either way, I don't think he's got, apart from Kilman aside, he hasn't got a quite a great record there either, Lopetegui, is he? But Lopetegui can't blame this on not having a striker, I'm afraid. He just can't. You know, there are teams where there are teams that have been very successful without a striker. They've had to sort of fumble their way through. It ain't like we've not had one. We've had Antonio, not a great striker, but he's been our striker for the last couple of years. And we've also had Bowen, who was quite a successful striker last year. And one of the stats that I read was, if you look at Bowen's performance this year, is his XG, I think, his expected goals per game was like 0.35 or something last year. And Bowen's XG now this season is 0.1 something. So he's actually a third as effective as he was last year in a David Moyes team. We'll come to David Moyes after, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you'd expect, even more speculation. I think Florian Plettenberg, is it, the German Sky guy who is considered to be the voice of Tim Steidten, has said that Edin Terzic is on standby. I think that's revamping an old story, because they said that weeks ago. I'm sure he's on standby just in case, waiting to come across. Also, now this is one that I absolutely love. Jason Cundy actually confirmed, don't know how he knows this, that Marco Silva of Fulham, proven excellent manager, Premier League manager, who has made a lot out of not very much in terms of transfer budget. I really admire Marco Silva. He plays the right type of football. I'd love to see him at West Ham. Apparently he was coming to West Ham before Sullivan lost his bottle after Moyes won that trophy, and he decided to not go through with it, but he was coming to West Ham. Apparently, according to Cundy, he would still come to West Ham if Sullivan were to ask. If Sullivan were to pay whatever the fee Fulham would demand in releasing him, and it's bound to be significant, so we can rule that one out, can't we? Also, believe it or not, you can see this coming. Rafa Benitez is in the picture. Rafa Benitez. They've dusted him off, taken him out of the museum, wheeling him into West Ham. I mean, honestly, the names on this list are terrifying, and none more terrifying than one that was mentioned today. Now, I don't want to say I called this, but it's the first article that I've seen detailing a potential return for David Moyes to West Ham. And this is one of those really specially written articles, right? It's a specially written article, actually accentuating all of the positives. Moyes' achievements over 2 spells of West Ham, and he goes, blah, blah, kept us safe from relegation twice. Doesn't say rescued. Restored pride. Did he? Made West Ham competitive again. Yeah, he did. Record Premier League points total of 65 points. Wasn't that in the COVID year? 3 consecutive seasons in Europe. Can't deny that. He did. First major trophy in football for years. Blah, blah, blah. European semi-final, final, quarter-final, blah, blah. Set a new English record for number of games unbeaten in Europe. Yeah. It's very different in Europe these days, isn't it? Especially when you're playing the Conference League. Signed Jared Bowen and Thomas Souček. So they're grasping at straws at the end there, because he also signed a load of lemons and a load of people who weren't lemons. One of them, Nayef Aguerd, believe it or not, he's playing so well for Real Sociedad that Real Madrid are interested in taking Nayef Aguerd. So it's yet another one, top talent that Moyes completely screwed up, by playing him in the wrong system. We knew he weren't fit for that system, didn't we? We knew it. And his failings over this article, it's amazing. So that's all the positives, and it's just like, then it goes on for negatives, and it's grasping at straws when it's looking at negatives. Fans did not enjoy the style of play when results dried up. No, we didn't enjoy it when the results were coming. Dragged heels on transfers too often. These are like minor technicalities, right? Apart from the fans thing. Admitted snubbing Julian Alvarez, 14.5 million. Preferred working with a small squad. These are the sort of things. This is like if you're writing to David Sullivan asking for a job, you'd list all these things as attributes, positive attributes. Preferred working with a small squad. Failed to future-proof the West Ham squad. Left the fucking crater behind. That's what he did. Paid lip service to give him academy stars a first-team chance. Yeah, he did. He not interested. So that's another reason why he just can't come back. Admitted he tried but failed to get Ammers playing more a possession-based style. Yeah, he did. Right, but I've got something else that should perhaps go on the list. It should go on the list. And this is something that was said to me earlier by my son Ross. And this is, if you want just an idea of how bad Moyes was in the end, his last 11 games versus Lopetegui's first 11 games. I'm going to read through some stats. So for those of you who don't know, so these are normal stats, by the way. These are not like technical stats, right? So you'll all understand these. So I'll read Moyes out first and then Lopetegui second. Points per game. Last 11 games versus first 11 games. 0.91 for Moyes. 1.09 for Lopetegui. Points per game at home. 1.17 each. Points per game away. 0.6 for Moyes. 1 point for Lopetegui. Games versus Sky, their self-appointed Big Six, got 4 points from those games. Moyes got 4 points from those games. Lopetegui got 4 points from those games. Points per game games v Sky 6. There were actually 4 games each against the Sky 6. And the points per game in those 4, 0.5 points accrued for David Moyes, 0.75 accrued for Lopetegui. Average goals per game. This is the one stat where David Moyes is better than Lopetegui. 1.55 goals per game for Moyes, 1.18 goals for Lopetegui. Average goals against, 2.45 per game for David Moyes in the last 11, 1.73 for Lopetegui. XG, whatever, right? Average shots, 12.36 for Moyes per game. 13.73 for Lopetegui. Average shots against, this is quite entertaining, 17.82 for Moyes, 16.55 for Lopetegui. Now, what that tells you is they're both shit, right? So that's the first thing. Secondly, you cannot breeze over this. When you talk about David Moyes, you cannot breeze over the fact that in his last season with us, out of 19 games, he won 4 out of 19. He conceded 5 or more goals in 4 games, in 4 of those games. It was a disgraceful run of form. And if it wasn't for the cup win the previous year, it was also a disgraceful run of form the previous season. This is not a serial winner. This is a serial failure. And he left us after that terrible run last year with not only a demoralised team, but obviously almost 11 players. We didn't have 11 players to build a first team once we got rid of all of the broken pieces and the people that were out of contract. He also got rid of players we should have kept, right? So look, nobody can convince me that David Moyes would be the right move for West Ham, ever. No way. So, but anyway, look, let me know what you think of that little group of that little collection of stats, because I found it quite entertaining myself. Thanks, Ross. And let me know from the list of managers that you've seen linked so far. I wonder how Jason Cundy knows that Marco Silva would come. He must know him. West London, Chelsea, maybe they live in the same neck of the woods in Frank Lampard's posh estate or something like that. But anyway, I'll take that as read. I'll take that as proof. I'm going to believe Jason Cundy for once on that. But anyway, there we go. Sullivan is going to disappoint us again. He absolutely is. So I hope you all prepared yourself for this, because we're going to be going on to lose the next 2 games and then struggle in the following 2. And that's when he'll get rid of him. He'll get rid of him at the end of November, when there is nowhere to go, nowhere to run to, baby. So I hope you enjoyed this miserable show. And if you did, please could you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So it's a Bobby Moore stand on YouTube, and hit the bell notification icon. Also, can you give the video a like, because it helps us a lot, and leave a comment. I read all the comments. I respond to a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. Until next time, see you soon. Come in your wines.